Let's dive in. Today we're taking a look at the Book of Proverbs.
Ooh, Proverbs.
Yeah, you know those ancient Israelite wisdom sayings?
Right, right.
And what's really cool is we've got these kind of unique sources for this deep dive.
Okay.
So we've got some excerpts from a Portuguese study guide on Proverbs, and then we've also got these English articles that analyze the book's background.
So we've got kind of like a bilingual, a bicultural approach to this.
Exactly. Like
Okay.
we're piecing together different perspectives.
I like it.
Yeah, kind of bridging the languages and the centuries to like unlock these little nuggets of advice.
Yeah, practical advice.
Practical advice, yeah. So that's our mission today, to see if this ancient wisdom can still be like relevant to us
Right.
today in the modern world.
Yeah, I mean, that's always the question, isn't it? Like, can these ancient texts still speak to us?
You know what always gets me about Proverbs is the authorship.
Okay, yeah.
It wasn't just written by one person.
Right, it's more like a compilation, almost like an anthology
Yeah.
of wisdom that's been gathered over centuries.
Okay.
So we have King Solomon, who's kind of like the big name, right?
Right, Solomon.
Everyone associates him with the book because he was known for his wisdom.
Okay, so if he's like the headliner like on this wisdom mixtape,
Yeah, the wisdom mixtape, I love that.
who are some of the other acts?
Well, we've got some other contributors.
Right.
We have the sages of Israel. They were
Uh-huh.
kind of like this council of wise people.
Okay.
So they're offering like a more, I guess, communal perspective.
Right, like a group wisdom, yeah.
Group wisdom, exactly.
Yeah.
And then there's this guy, Agur, from Massa.
Gur, okay.
Yeah, kind of a mysterious figure.
Right.
But he adds this really unique voice to the mix.
And then there's one more, right?
Oh, yes. We can't forget about King Lemuel's mother.
Yeah.
She offers some advice directly to her son.
A king, wow.
A king in training, yeah. So it's like advice fit for a king.
Wow, it's just so cool to think about how like this wisdom was collected and passed down, kind of like a family heirloom, you know,
That's a great analogy, yeah.
being added to like over generations.
Over generations, exactly.
And speaking of history,
Yeah.
it's really hard to put an exact date on when all these proverbs came together.
Right.
But we know that Solomon's reign was like around 970 to 931 BC.
Okay, so that gives us a starting point.
Right, a starting point, yeah. And the sages likely compiled things after he died.
Right.
And then even later, King Hezekiah's scribes added more to the collection.
So it wasn't like a one-time project.
Right, it was a work in progress.
Yeah, a work in progress over centuries.
Okay, so we've got this like mixtape of wisdom, right, collected over centuries. But there's this one phrase that always kind of gives me pause.
Okay.
It's the fear of the Lord.
Yeah.
It sounds kind of intimidating, to be honest.
I get that.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people have that initial reaction.
Right.
But the fear of the Lord, it's not about like being terrified. It's more about having a deep respect,
Okay.
a sense of awe for God's power and authority.
So like recognizing that there's something much bigger than us
Yeah.
and trying to live in like harmony with that,
Exactly.
that makes way more sense.
Yeah, and it really sets the stage for understanding like the core themes of Proverbs,
Okay.
which is often about choices
Okay.
between wisdom and foolishness.
Yeah, okay.
You know, it's constantly contrasting these two paths.
Got it.
And it uses like vivid imagery to show us the consequences
Right.
of each path.
Do you have like an example of that?
Sure, yeah. Think about Proverbs 10.1,
Okay.
where it talks about like the wise son bringing joy to his father
Right.
and the foolish son bringing grief to his mother.
Yeah, I've heard that word.
So like, what do you think constitutes wisdom or foolishness
Okay.
in a parent-child relationship today?
Oh, that's a good question.
Especially now when things are so different from, you know, ancient times.
Right. Yeah, because I'm thinking back then, like maybe obedience was seen as like the ultimate form of wisdom.
Yeah.
But now it's more nuanced than that.
Right.
Like maybe a wise child is one who like communicates openly, even when it's hard, or like sets healthy boundaries, whereas a foolish child might be one who like shuts down communication or makes like reckless choices that impact the whole family.
You've got it.
Yeah, those are all things I think we all struggle with,
Right.
regardless of like our age. So
Exactly.
it makes you think about how we navigate like all of our family relationships.
Absolutely. It really does make you think about that, doesn't it? How we handle those relationships.
Yeah, and it's not just parents and kids.
Oh, absolutely not.
Right. Proverbs has so much to say about like friendships,
Right.
romantic relationships,
Okay.
even like how we interact with people online.
Yeah. It's like it covers the whole spectrum.
Yeah. Now that you mention online interactions,
Yeah.
that makes me think of another proverb that uses that contrasting imagery, right?
All right.
So in Proverbs 11.16, it talks about a gracious woman retaining honor while ruthless men retain riches.
Yeah.
It's like highlighting the difference between chasing like fleeting wealth and then cultivating lasting respect. What do you think about that in our modern context where like social media often glorifies wealth and status?
That's a great point. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's almost like that proverb is challenging us to ask, what kind of currency are we valuing?
Right.
Are we building a reputation on genuine kindness and integrity?
Okay.
Or are we chasing, like you said, the likes and the followers?
Right.
Because those things, they could disappear so quickly.
Right. Yeah.
But true honor, that sticks with you. You know, the kind that you build on ethical actions and how you treat other people.
I mean, it's easy to get caught up in like, you know, the pursuit of that superficial validation online.
It is.
Yeah. And sometimes I have to like remind myself that real wealth isn't about like the number of followers I have or whatever.
That's about the quality of your relationships.
Yeah, the quality of my relationships and like the positive impact I have hopefully on the world.
Exactly. Yeah. And I think that's a struggle
a
lot of us face today.
Right.
But Proverbs offers these like timeless reminders
to
help us stay grounded.
Right.
Like that proverb from the Portuguese text that says, Melhor o pouco havendo justiça do que grandes rendimentos com injustiça.
Okay, so break that down for us.
Yeah. So basically it means better to have a little with righteousness than great wealth with injustice.
It's a good reminder that success isn't about like accumulating wealth like at any cost.
At any cost, right?
It's about like aligning our actions with our values.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that kind of leads us to another key theme in Proverbs, which is financial stewardship.
Okay, interesting.
Yeah, it's really interesting how this ancient text addresses like really practical matters like debt and saving. For example, Proverbs 13.11 says, dishonest money dwindles away, but whoever gathers money little by little makes it grow.
Right. So that's kind of cautioning against those like get rich quick schemes.
Exactly. Like the quick, easy path to wealth.
Yeah.
It's emphasizing like the slow, steady growth.
You know what I used to think Proverbs was all about? Like these abstract moral lessons.
Yeah.
But it's fascinating how much like practical advice it offers.
I know, right?
About everyday life.
Everyday life, yeah.
We've all heard those stories about like lottery winners who end up like bankrupt.
Right.
Maybe there's some wisdom to that idea of like gathering little by little.
Yeah, I think so.
It's about being responsible and making like thoughtful choices, even when it comes to our finances.
Absolutely, yeah. You've hit on a really important point there.
Okay.
I think sometimes it's those small, consistent choices that have the biggest impact in our lives.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And this idea of like making wise financial decisions really ties back to that concept of the fear of the Lord.
Oh, okay. I see the connection.
Right. It's about recognizing that we're not ultimately in control.
Right.
That we're accountable to something greater than ourselves.
Right. Even in how we manage our money.
Exactly. And Proverbs also offers a lot of wisdom about hard work and diligence.
Okay.
There's a proverb that says, lazy hands make for poverty, but diligent hands bring wealth.
Ooh, okay.
So it's kind of a reminder that success requires effort.
Right.
And commitment.
But it's not just about working hard for the sake of wealth.
Exactly. It's about finding like purpose and meaning in what we do.
That resonates with me because like I've definitely been in jobs where I felt like I was just going through the motions.
Right.
And it was so draining.
Yeah, I've been there too.
And now I really try to like focus on work that aligns with my values and like lets me use my talents to make a positive contribution.
That's awesome.
It's not always easy, but it's definitely way more fulfilling.
You're so right.
Yeah.
I think that's a perfect example of how these ancient proverbs can guide us towards a more meaningful life.
Yeah.
It's about finding that balance between working hard and finding work that really matters to us.
Yeah.
And that sense of purpose extends like beyond our careers too, right?
Right. It makes me think about the importance of investing in like
Yeah.
our relationships.
Absolutely.
Not just like our finances. Like
Right.
Proverbs 17.19 says, a friend loves at all times, and a brother is born for adversity.
That's beautiful. It's a reminder that,
Mm.
like, true friendship isn't just about the good times.
Right.
It's about showing up for each other
Yeah.
through thick and thin.
It's about those like deep connections.
Yes, deep, meaningful connections
Yeah.
that sustain us through the challenges.
Yeah, it's so easy to get caught up in the busyness of our lives and
Exactly.
like neglect those important relationships.
You're so right, yeah.
But Proverbs reminds us that, like,
Yeah.
they're really precious.
They are.
Like something to be cherished and nurtured.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's so easy to let those slip away in like the daily grind.
It really is.
But Proverbs really puts an emphasis on like
Yeah.
cultivating those strong bonds.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then on the flip side, it warns us about
Yeah.
the dangers of like toxic relationships.
Right.
I'm thinking of Proverbs 22.24.
Okay.
It says, do not make friends with a hot-tempered person. Do not associate with one easily angered.
Ooh, that's a good one.
Right.
It's about setting those boundaries, right?
Yes.
Recognizing the signs of a relationship that's not serving you.
Yeah.
It can be tough to walk away,
Yeah.
but sometimes it's necessary.
It's a good reminder that we have like a choice, right?
Yeah.
In who we surround ourselves with.
Absolutely. You have a choice.
And speaking of choices, another area where Proverbs offers a lot of guidance is in our communication.
Oh, for sure.
Especially with the rise of, social media.
Yeah.
That proverb about the power of words.
Yeah.
The tongue has the power of life and death, and those who love it will eat its fruit.
Ooh, powerful.
That feels more relevant than ever.
It does, doesn't it?
It really does.
Makes you think about how our words, like both spoken and written, can have such a lasting impact.
Especially online, where things can escalate so quickly.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
I've definitely had times when I've, regretted something I posted
I think we all have.
in the heat of the moment.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's like Proverbs is urging us to,
Take a breath.
take a breath, yeah. Before we hit send,
You got.
consider the consequences.
Think before you speak.
Right, think before you speak, or, type.
Or type, exactly.
Yeah.
Before, unleashing those words into the world.
And then along those same lines, Proverbs 15.1 says, a gentle answer turns away wrath, but a harsh word stirs up anger.
Oh, I love that one.
Right?
So important for, navigating conflict.
Yeah, it's tempting to respond in kind
It is.
when someone's, already upset.
It is.
But Proverbs is suggesting
Yeah.
a different path.
Path of wisdom.
Yeah, a path of wisdom and, restraint.
Restraint, yes.
So Proverbs isn't just offering, this abstract wisdom, right?
Not at all.
It's giving us,
Yeah.
practical tools for navigating, the challenges of modern life.
But
It's like a
that's-
guidebook for,
Yeah.
building stronger relationships,
Right.
managing our finances, finding, fulfillment in our work,
Yes,
and even,
and-
using social media wisely.
I love that, it's like a modern guidebook
It really is.
rooted in this ancient wisdom.
It's amazing, how much wisdom we can glean from these
Right.
short, pithy sayings.
They're so simple,
Yeah, they're very simple.
but so profound.
Yeah, as we wrap up this deep dive, I'm wondering,
Oh.
how do we actually apply these proverbs
Right.
to our own lives?
That's a great question.
Where do we even begin?
Well, I think the first step is just, being open
Okay.
to the wisdom that they offer.
Okay.
Don't dismiss them as, outdated
Right.
or irrelevant.
Yeah.
Approach them with a sense of curiosity
Okay.
and see how they might speak to your own experiences.
So it's like having a conversation with these ancient sages,
Yeah, I love that.
letting their wisdom guide us through the challenges
Yeah.
that we face today.
It's not about memorizing them
Right.
or becoming a scholar.
Yeah.
It's about finding those nuggets
Yeah.
that resonate with you
Yeah. Incorporating them into
Yeah.
our daily lives.
into your life. Exactly.
Wisdom is a journey,
It is.
not a destination.
It's a process.
Right.
Right.
We're all constantly learning and
Yeah.
growing.
Absolutely.
There will be times when we stumble and make mistakes.
Of course.
The important thing is to,
Yeah.
get back up and learn from those experiences
Keep going.
and keep moving forward.
Yeah.
It's not about being perfect, right?
It's about progress.
It's about progress,
Exactly.
striving to make choices that align with our values,
Right.
to treat others with kindness and respect,
Uh-huh.
to manage our resources wisely,
Yeah.
and to make a positive impact
That's it.
on the world.
I think On that note, I'd like to leave our listeners
Okay.
with a thought-provoking proverb.
All right.
From Proverbs 18.1 it says,
Okay.
"The heart of the discerning acquires knowledge, for the ears of the wise seek it out."
That's beautiful. It's a reminder that, like, wisdom is available to all who seek it.
If you seek it, you will find it.
So our challenge to you, dear listener, is how are you actively seeking wisdom in your own life?
That's the question.
What are you doing to cultivate knowledge and understanding? The journey of wisdom is an adventure that never ends.
I love that.
Keep exploring, keep learning, keep growing.
Beautifully said.
And until next time,
Yes.
may your path be filled with knowledge, understanding, and joy.
Wonderful. I love it.